Hey family, well, we've come to the end of another week. How's your memory? Are you suffering from any spiritual amnesia? My name is Dwain. Click on the links below these videos and you will be blessed. But how's your memory? Are you remembering the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living? Listen to our memory scripture for this week. It comes to us from Joshua chapter 4, verses 23 and 24. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of the Jordan for you until you passed over, as the Lord your God did the Red Sea, which he dried up for you until you passed over on dry land, so that all the peoples of the earth may know that the hand of the Lord is mighty, that you may fear the Lord your God forever. God did it. God did it again. Do you remember when he did it? The last time he did it? God does not want us to forget. We need to remember the goodness of the Lord crossing the Jordan. Sunday's lesson, we learned when crossing the Jordan that it was specific, that God gave specific instructions for how it was to be crossed. He was going to be with them. In fact, it was when his presence touched the water, when the people carrying the ark touched the water, the priests, that the water opened up, and then they marched to the middle of that water and stood there on dry land in the middle of an ocean, of a river that whose waters had walled up on each side. They stood there and waited as God performed this miracle and the people walked through on dry land. It is reminding us that when God brings us through, he stands in the middle of our troubles with us and keeps us so that the rivers don't overflow us. God is with you in your struggle. Then the living wonders, Joshua chapter 3, verses 6 to 17, we highlight the crossing of the Jordan, the miraculous things that God did as he got the people over. The prophet Zechariah used this same term, as he envisioned a future for Israel after the Babylonian. He saw that Jerusalem would be fully rebuilt. When God speaks of what was coming for them, he speaks of it as finished. They would conquer Canaan and settle it. God speaks of it as a done deal. God already sees past our struggles, past our trials. To him, it is already done when he speaks it. The living God of wonders. And then we were told on Tuesday, we should remember. Don't forget the goodness of God. Joshua chapter 4. Joshua gives them instructions. He tells them 12 men from each tribe, go bring the stones out of that. Bring one on your shoulder, each one of you, and we will build an altar at Gilgal. But then Joshua ran back into the Jordan River and built an altar himself at the bottom of the water. It was dry at the time. The priest was still standing there. Joshua builds an altar in the middle of the water and builds one at Gilgal so that there will be no mistaking. Whenever the children ask in future generations, what mean these stones? God did it. Remember, and then we learned on Wednesday that even though God said, remember, we sometimes forget. The children of Israel forgot. Judges tells us that they forgot the goodness of the Lord. Judges chapter 3, verse 7, Judges 8:34, Psalm 78, 11, Deuteronomy 8 and verse 2 and verse 18. The children of Israel still forgot the goodness of the Lord. That's a danger. That's a danger to us. We should remember God's goodness, especially memorials of his grace, such as the sacrifice of Jesus Christ on the cross. Every time we eat that communion bread and drink that wine, we do show the Lord's death till he comes. And then Thursday reminds us that this thing goes on beyond Jordan, that the goodness of God in the land of the living, that he brings us through this experience and will one day take us to the kingdom of heaven. Don't you want to go? If you want to go, be faithful. Stand firm. Remember, don't forget, Jesus is soon to come.